Hello everyone. In our previous video, we learned to create a function that accepts an argument and returns a value. It is possible to create functions that accept multiple parameters and return multiple values. How to do that is what we are going to learn in this video. I'll create a func and name it does something. It is not advised to create functions with these names, but this is just for learning purposes, so I'll just create a function. Now this function should accept multiple parameters and return multiple values. I'll say that it accepts the first name, which is a string, and the last name, which is also a string. So what I'm thinking is that this function should accept two strings and return, joining these strings, a whole string which is in capital letters. Doesn't matter if this string is in smaller cases or in upper cases, but the return value should be in upper cases. And also with that, I am expecting this to return the length of my string. So I have two return types. One is a string and the other is an integer. When we have more than one return types, we have to put them in parentheses, or it won't, the code will give you an error. So this is how our function will look. Now to create a string to uppercase, we use the strings package. I'll create a variable first upper and use the strings package strings.toUpper function to create strings to uppercase. I'll just put the variable name here. So this function accepts a string, as you can see over here, and it returns a string. Returns string. So first upper will be a string by default. I'll just do the same for my second string. I'll name it second upper, and this will be my last name. Now to merge strings, I'll use a variable full name, and to merge strings we can append strings using, or we can concatenate strings using the plus sign. So I'll write the name of my first string and I'll use a plus. Now I need a space between them, so I'll put a double quotes and a space, and I'll put a plus sign again and write my second string. So this will be first name plus space plus second name in uppercase. So this should be first upper, because we need the uppercase string which is stored inside this. Okay. So once we have the full name, now we need the length of the string. So I'll say size. To find the length of the string, we use the len function. This is an inbuilt function, so I can directly use it. I'll use it on full name. Remember that this will also count the space as 1. So whatever the first upper string characters are present plus the space plus the second upper characters, so it will return the whole value. Now whenever we have return values specified in a function, the last statement should be a return. So I'll return, and this should be done in order. First I have to return a string, and second I have to return an integer. So my string is full name, as we have stored the final result in full name, and integer would be in variable size. So this is how I would return values to this function. Now time to call this function. So I'll say does something. Now whenever a function has arguments, it has to be passed while calling it. I cannot call an empty function. This would give me an error. If it has 3 arguments, then I have to pass 3 arguments. This has 2. I'll simply say Ramesh, comma, another string would be Yadav. So I'm passing 2 strings as the function demands. Now this returns 2 values, so I'll need 2 variables to store them. I'll simply say str and no. Str to store the string and no to store the number, that is integer. So this is also done in positional order. So as you can see, str is automatically a string and no is int with respect to this position. If I change this order will also be changed. Okay. So now to see if you're getting the output, I'll use an fmt.println and I'll print out str and number. So I should get the output, that is Ramesh Yadav, all in capital letters. Just I'll keep everything small. So I'll get all these characters in capital letters separated by a space, and the length would be 6 plus 5, that is 11, and plus the space that we have appended over here, so it should be 12. So if I run this, I should see Ramesh Yadav and 12, which is what I get. Now whenever there are functions that return multiple values, suppose if I'm not interested in the size of this, so if I remove it from here, then I'll get the error that this variable is not being used. So how do I deal with this? I use a simple underscore. This means that I am not going to use this variable. I am only interested in my first variable. Now if I run this, this code will run and I'll only see Ramesh Yadav printed out. This will be all for this video. Thank you for watching.